This is actually for all of us, not just for us up here, but for all of us. Think of us as the template or as the example moving forward as we prepare this for next year, right? So this is not exclusively a Joker or CreativeSpace type deal. This is for sorry.
Make sure everybody can hear you.
This is for This is for everyone.
So yes, thank you all for showing up. Most everybody here kind of knows me, but there's a few people I can see that I just starting to meet, and I would like to get to know everybody. My name's Mux. What this is going to be called the AthensGATV Meetup, okay? And you may have seen us, me kind of putting that name out there slowly. I've just been peppering it out right now because it's still all in development. But this meeting and this meetup is a start to kind of get that going. We've talked to Athica, and we want to make this a monthly thing, and they're really on board with that. So we're really happy about that. Thank you, Athica. I want to invite each and every one of you to consider coming up here as well at some point in the near future at different meetings, because that's what this is going to be about. This is about us getting to know each other and possibly collaborating, possibly working with each other in different ways, because we each do our own thing in different ways. Some of us are podcasters, some of us are live streamers, some of us are just doing shows on other people's shows, and then connecting with big things here in town. So I want I was talking to a lot of people earlier. So, I want each and every one of you at some point to come on up and talk to the group as a whole about what you do and how you do it. All right, and the idea with that is so we can start learning off of each other as well. We are going to line up different panelists each month. Hopefully some of them will be able to teach you things that you might want to know. Some of them will be, I don't know, we'll see. I've got a couple different people that have said yes already, so we're going to get that lined up. To be aware of what's going on, I have a QR code that if you scan that, it goes to AthensGATV.com, and there's a form there that you can just fill in, and that way we have your email address, and we can email you once a month telling you when the next meeting is going to be. JOKERJOKERtv, that's what I do here, but Libba has recently joined the ranks of JOKERJOKERtv, so we're really excited about that. But I was talking to somebody earlier about a project that they're working on, and I was super excited. Thank you for talking to me about that. And I think that, what we as JOKERJOKERtv can offer anybody is a chance to try ideas out. If you want to do a show, if you are in a band and you're putting music videos out, send those to us. The objective of JOKERJOKERtv is to talk about what's going on in the community. So it's all free. It's just come on the show. We interview people. If you want to talk about your project on JOKERJOKERtv, we'd love to have you there. Just get a hold of me, and I've got cards here, and we can talk afterwards for anything you want to do. So, okay. So now, I don't know, Mr. What's your last name again?
Colbert.
Colbert. Sorry.
Colbert.
I'm
country.
Country.
It's Colbert.
Colbert. Thank you for joining. I don't know you as well, and so I hope to get to better know you. But BlackNerdNinja and Libbaloops both have been on JOKERJOKERtv. So I want to go ahead and let them each talk about, maybe talk about your experiences a little bit with JOKERJOKERtv. That'd be cool. So, because if you don't know what JOKERJOKER is about, I want people to know how they can benefit from coming on our show and things like that. But then they each do their own projects. You do a podcast. You work with CreativeSpace, and so you've done a lot. And I wanted you to talk about that. Libbaloops is a live streamer. She's a performance artist and a really awesome scat artist. And so I want her to talk about, like, she live streams on Twitch, or did. We're still talking about what she's doing right now. But we're working on some stuff together, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And then Mr. Colbert, tech. Somebody, was he saying? Yeah, okay. Now, AthensGATV. that for now is this meeting, okay? And that's what it is right now. But as we develop, what I'm really working on is developing a platform for Athens. So like, whereas community access television back in the 80s was a thing that they went through cable networks and stuff like that, it was mandated by government. Nowadays, that's dead. We all know that. But now we have Roku, we have Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV. We have different ways of distributing our own content. And in fact, through my research for what we're doing, I found out you can have a Roku channel for free. So you can set up the whole process, but you have to have a coder. So the coder is where you're going to be spending your money, and then you have to have a server because the server has to deliver that. So you've got a whole process of development there to really make something like a Roku channel possible. So that's sort of our goal. That's where we're working towards. And as that continues to develop, the idea would be that it would be a 24-hour-a-day platform that anybody doing their own thing could come and take a time slot, like her Loopy Doopy Lounge, which, how many hours would you do as a live stream?
Oh yeah, typically on Twitch you want to go for like at least 2 hours. Even that can be.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. So you went long time. Yeah, so like that could be something that somebody tunes into the AthensGATV Roku channel, and that's what's on right now. I know some people here that make movies. Movies could be. We got movie nights. Joker could still be at our 6:30 on Thursday night time slot. But we're the ones that are kind of like putting together this group of stuff that's going to be the regular rotation for the station when there's not somebody taking a time slot. So that's sort of the idea that I'm looking at, and I've been developing this idea for the whole time we've been doing Joker. And so with Joker, we have done it in the way that we want to do the bigger idea. And so we were using Joker as basically the proof of concept to show this is how it works. And so having each one of these people on our show, that was the idea of giving them their own show. Nate Ball, he's in the audience here, he had his own show for a short time. And you're welcome any other time. We're looking for, but he's got some big stuff happening, so he might be too busy for us. But no, so like, we're the weirdos, of course. You know me, everybody here, basically. I'm one of the weirdos in town. So that's sort of our focus, We want to make sure that everybody has a chance to be seen doing what they do, And that's what we're about. So AthensGATV, the bigger idea, 24 hours a day of content like that, coming from you guys, coming from Athens, coming from bands when their music videos. Also, you might have noticed we've also teamed up with different nonprofits in town, like HipHop. In fact, on Friday, there's a special live stream that we're producing for HipHop's 25th anniversary benefit show that they're doing that's sold out. So you won't be able to see it. Yeah. So you won't be able to go. The tickets, there's no more tickets, but you can watch it on JOKERJOKErtv this weekend. So, and that's a big deal for us. Like, I'm working with Doodlebug Productions, Cash Robinson. He has a camera that's a FX6 that we don't have cameras like that. Like you can kind of see the cameras we've got, and that's what we're doing JOKERJOKErtv with right now. But for something like this, I talked to him. He's lending us a camera, so we're gonna have a really good camera there. I've even teamed up with the Athena Studios, and some of the students from the Student Learning Center over there is coming to kind of volunteer with us, filming B-roll and stuff like that. So, we're gonna put this live stream out for them. I'm gonna have other footage that I can then let them use as content that they put out in their social media to continue to promote this live stream that's going to exist on the channel. These events like AthFest being broadcast, the hockey team, us being able to see the games when those are, you know, have them live streamed on the channel. Like, it doesn't have to, it's not only the weirdos. Like, Joker's only the weirdos, mostly. But AthensGATV is everybody. So it's, you know, and one of the things that in the development that I'm thinking too, I'm gonna have to worry about the, you know, the schedule today, and, you know, knowing that kids are gonna watch at certain times, at night, and, you know, late in the evening, you know, we'll have certain kinds of other things. You know, during the day, there's time slots for specific kind of things, like news or whatever we end up having. But anyways, so that's all in the development of the business plan that I've been putting together. And so this is the start of that. And so I think I've explained it good enough? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. I don't know. Talk about your thing.
My experience with JOKERJOKErtv was terrible. So just know that off the bat. No, right? So let's get that list going right now. Let's go ahead.
So
Lay
we
that
have
right
to hear
there.
folks.
Don't go. No, my experience with JOKERJOKErtv was amazing. For the simple fact, I think all of us have been doing what we've been doing for a long time. And the whole idea and concept of from JOKERJOKErtv to CreativeSpace is the fact that I think we are the products of having to do it ourselves, right? We are the products of having to figure out whatever we need to figure out to either create the application, be able to figure out how to build our websites, be able to figure out how to stream, be able to figure out how to create the music or even make the beat or write the songs. A lot of us have been in these, have worked by ourselves a long time, right? Or we have collaborated and that has crashed and burned on us. You don't have to say anything, I'll say it for you. I know we have, right? So the whole idea when Mug showed up to our second anniversary for CreativeSpace was let's bring creatives, and my idea was a tech part of it too, because all of it goes hand in hand just as far as development, the front end and back end, making sure your sites look right. That's how you use your application, that's how you stream. You need the front end and back end. So the idea with this is that we can leave here gaining information from one another because nobody knows everything. We can leave here with more value, can leave here with more knowledge. The objective is not to, I think I can speak for all of us, the objective is not to take advantage of the individual in the chair. If you're looking to do that, then this is not for you, because a lot of us have already been through that, we've already done that. This is not the objective. The objective is to make sure we push ideas forward and push the community forward. That's the idea, that's the objective. That's what we're getting behind. And we have already, have JOKERJOKErtv, who brings individuals on his site, his page. We have CreativeSpace brings individuals on theirs. Like everyone in this room, I pretty much have interacted with to a certain degree, and I know that we have collaborated in some shape, form, or fashion. I love your new video. That's dope. I just want to say that it's dope. Present. But if you take nothing away this evening that I've said, besides don't go to JOKERJOKER, take this. We are here to collaborate. We're here to build a community. There is no hidden agenda. I don't have any pyramid scheme for you. I don't think JOKERJOKER does either. But we're here to make sure your ideas come to life, and we're here to learn from one another and build with one another.
Tell us a little bit more about like the kind of things that you guys do at CreativeSpace. Like, what are you filming? What is your, you know, like focus?
Our focus is just to build content. We don't have like we don't specialize in like one thing. We tried that in the beginning, which was more of the hands-on. So that's more of the you come, we set up equipment, we film you type deal. But that seems like more work, if that makes sense. So because we're doing it for individuals, but not necessarily creating clients who continue to come back. No, so we made a pivot this current year. to get more focused in on like, okay, what do we like to create? Like that became the question.
So, I mean, I've seen the podcast that you do, so you'll sit down with one person, and then you've got classic conversations. Those have titles, so I don't know what your podcast is titled.
I'm just talking.
Yeah, just you,
Yeah,
okay.
just be hanging out. And then now we get, look, like, just be hanging out. So, okay, let me speak that. So the whole idea, every time I've done a podcast by myself, it was me trying out ideas or trying out some stuff I've researched. Experiment.
Yeah.
I will try things out on my own podcast, and then I will try it out on other people's. So my nickname's Nerd, so I like to research and then try things out before I even present to my business partner, Lo. But like I said, this year we pivoted and started doing being more intentional. So like I said, when we first started, we just cast a wide net saying, hey, we want everybody to come here and do this thing. Whatever you got, we want to see. Whatever you do, we want to do. And that's why you've seen us in the beginning a little bit more like CreativeSpace. It was never studio, it was never nothing like that. Because we just wanted to make it like this, make it where anybody can stop by. Because me and my business partner are mainly known for music, known for rap. So we didn't want it just to be one thing. So anyway, when we picked this year, we filmed a short series, I think it was last year, right? We filmed a short series last year.
I've never heard about this.
Yeah, so we filmed a short series and we fell in love with the filming process of creating that short series. We came to the decision of, I think like in the last year, we came to the decision to say, you know what, this is what we want to do. We like doing the other stuff. We don't mind working with other individuals, but this will be our main focus. So last year we pivoted, and so this year we've been more focused on coming up with ideas, finding writers to help write the scripts and write, because the first few things we did with the first series, we wrote those. And so we realized how much pressure it was to write and film and edit and have all your other weird things that happen in between storage. You guys know you deal with film. But we ran into those problems earlier this year. So now we're more focused on being behind the scenes and creating the idea. So like I spoke with a few of you guys earlier, where we're like, let's create the idea, let's just get it out, because we're more focused on that. We'd rather get the idea out and create the content, so we're more content based, so that we can cross promote it on our pages. We got like 3 pages, that's all social media. But anyway, so that we help build the content, build each brand, build each idea, and we also can advance past that. So that's been our main focus for the
cool.
2024.
So, I mean, you mentioned looking for writers too?
Looking for writers. We currently have 1 writer right now. But so we took the whole year just asking people, hey, who does what? I think because everybody's been scammed, we're more like, do you really do that thing that you say you do? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's like, am I gonna get to some hotel and it's gonna go south on me? You know, so I understand people's hesitation, right? So I understand people's hesitation on coming to events or coming to like filming or showing up to things, right? So I do offer room for that portion of it, but like I said, man, like we're just trying to film and create content.
I might have to talk to you more about this, because one of the things that we're doing, when I mentioned Nate Ball, he's a comedian in town, and so he came on and did his show, which was like a little 15-minute show on our show. So that was in 2024, basically was our year to like start doing that kind of stuff. So he was sort of like our test subject, our experimenting a little bit. I mean, and we didn't know what we were going to do until we got into doing it and we started doing it. But like he brought his game with him, and so basically we kind of like packaged a show around him and said, okay, well, this is here's some of the stuff we can put in, like create some animations or filming and the studio. And then that packages it together as its own thing, which this week on JOKERJOKERtv on Thursday is kind of like a recap of all the different segments we've had on the show all year long. So you'll see little clips of Nate Ball stuff and all that stuff, so check that out.
Hey y'all, I'm Libbaloops, and I've been so impressed with Joker Joker because if we are all content creators here of some sort, then you know that there's a lot of the work involved in that, and that's a lot of time and a lot of dedication, and to see this team be so creative and playful, and meaning that like you're creating a space where we're doing this because we love it, you know, and it's something that really resonates with me because I don't know how y'all feel, but I feel like a grown-up kid, you know, a lot of the times. And even if you feel like a grown-up, I think that having a space where you can have that childlike creative play, that you're not worried about how many likes is it gonna get or views or the stuff that can really weigh on you and be your meter for success. Like the fact that it's been really awesome to see y'all since starting in the pandemic, you know, offering something that's remote that we can still contribute to and collaborate as artists, and not only in Athens, but like I'm wearing a Fantastic Plastics shirt, one of my favorite bands that I knew through Twitch, and they're awesome. And for them to have submitted to Joker Joker, you know, these are artists from all over the world probably at this point, right? And so to have that in Athens and have that space and just that, I mean, honestly, just the tenacity and the motivation and the dedication to do this and to put in all of that work, like I really respect that. But I also just love the aesthetic of the show, the vibe of the show, the fact that it really is there, just like Eugene was saying, to support creatives without any ego to it, you know? So I really admire that, and I am super excited to see where Joker Joker goes, but also Athens TV. So I just want to share my appreciation for what the team at Joker.
Talk about yourself too.
Oh, me? Brief introduction of me. I grew up with, you know, being in a musical family. My grandmother taught piano lessons, and my mother was in theater, especially musical theater, so we were always singing in the house, and I just grew up with that kind of like energy. But I didn't start looping until I was inspired by Reggie Watts. I actually got to see Mark Revier recently. If you're a fan of him, it was awesome. But I started looping and learning how to loop, which, I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all can surmise what that means, but essentially allows me to be a one-woman band. And during the pandemic, it was like, all right, I'm just going to listen to the same thing over and over and build on it and not panic about what's going on out there. And so I took that, and I also found a really great community of musicians on Twitch specifically. And I just really connected with a lot of people, and now, you know, these are people that I've met in real life at this point. We've gone to the same fun music conferences and stuff, and just made some awesome connections in the electronic music community specifically. And so a lot of what I do is improvised, and so it's inspired by the audience, and I love that unique kind of live performance each time. So I do have, I'm excited to say that I've recorded my baby's first studio recording at Nucci Space. So I've got 12 songs coming out in 2025. I'm super excited about that. I will definitely share more about just what looping has meant to me, what this community in particular has meant to me, especially in this past year during my presentation. But it's been just awesome to collaborate with JOKERJOKERtv, and I'm super excited for 2025 because of the the partnership that we'll have with the Loopy Doopy Lounge, which you'll have to check it out to know what that's all about.
So you were doing Twitch shows.
Yeah. So
you said like hours and.
Oh, I mean, if you are on, I would encourage anyone who is a musician or a content creator or a podcaster too, especially if you want more in-depth conversations, because the cool thing about the Twitch vibe is that it's like you're hanging out at home with your audience. So there's a lot of interactivity and engagement where, like, because I do a lot of improv, what I loved was that I could take inspiration from the chat and or just have conversations with the chat and then be inspired for the next loop that we create together that way.
And that's kind of the part of the whole process of how you use Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting mechanics to Twitch because one of the ones that I thought was really great to kind of support other musicians is what's called a raid. And so, yeah, I'm sure the nerds in here like that. But a raid is where you can take your audience and then bring them to someone else's channel. So
dump them into.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, you know, one of my highlights was I mentioned the Fantastic Plastics. I'm a big fan of them. They're an awesome band in general, but they have they're a great example of just success on Twitch in particular because of how they engage with their audience, the visuals that they have, the energy they bring. But you know, it's also a community where someone that's pretty big, like a partner level on Twitch with thousands of followers, can bring their audience of sometimes anywhere between 1 to 500 people to someone like little old me in my Loopy Doopy lounge. And, you know, and suddenly in the midst of my stream, I'll get an alert that's like, oh man, the Fantastic Plastics have raided with 100 people, 200 people, or whatever, and suddenly you've got this audience, which can be really daunting. But after a while, I mean, when you get used to that kind of community engagement, participation, support, you bring that audience that sticks around to another person and another person. And so just recently, was this literally last night that I had a stream? Or the other night, 2 days ago, I streamed on Twitch, and I'm part of an electronic music community online called the Golden Shrimp Guild, and they are awesome, a worldwide community of electronic musicians, and they use the raid mechanic to kind of have a marathon of people's streams. So I knew I was on at 7:30, I get on a little early, I know that Control-Alt-Delete is going to raid into my stream, and then I'm going to raid into Actatech, these other artists. And so it's a really great way to foster community. And so...
Before I butt in there real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
See, I've been on the end of being dumped into somebody else's live stream. So, and this is before I understood what Twitch was all about.
Yeah.
I'm watching the Fantastic Plastics, in fact, and suddenly I'm watching something else.
Yes,
exactly. And I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened?
Right.
It was just, you were automatically dumped into somebody else's live stream.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away by it. And then I kept watching because I was like, well, these people are interesting too.
Yeah.
They're not the same thing that...
Yeah, you're likely going to have some kind of interest if this band is choosing to...
So they were probably part of a group like what you're talking about. And so each of them dumping them into the next one, dumping into the next one, just kept that audience floating around.
Exactly, because oftentimes with Twitch users, they might do what's called lurking, where you just got Twitch on. Maybe you're at work, instead of music, you're listening to a live stream. Yeah. But I think one of the other really unique things about Twitch is that you're able to directly communicate with individuals. Yeah. So I know my regulars that come to my stream, and you develop, what I've heard referred to as a parasocial relationship, with folks. But at this point, I've also gotten to meet these people IRL when we go to the same music conferences, like I mentioned before. So if you haven't explored Twitch, a lot of people assume, if they even have heard of it, that it's all esports gaming, which the majority of it is. But having that music community there, it's a bit smaller, which does have a good advantage because you actually do get a bit, it's easier to just get known and to interact with other artists and to have that support and develop a nice little following and just have a different kind of creative experience that I haven't experienced on YouTube quite the same way.
Yeah, and we we're on YouTube, but I do we do send it over to Twitch.
Yeah.
But I've noticed because we aren't actively there participating in that environment the way you have to do.
Yes, that's a really important part of it.
We have no growth of it.
Yeah, it's an expectation. If you're on Twitch, then that's the expectation of your audience, is that you get to directly interact with them, and like, you know, that's really special when the Fantastic Plastics just gave me a shout out, and there's a little alert that says, hey, Libbaloops, or, you know, they're thanking you directly. It's like, it's special, you know, it's fun.
I got them to say, I want my JOKERJOKErtv on this.
Oh, that's awesome, nice.
That was like a little promotion that we did for Joker Joker, is we were stealing stuff, we're always stealing stuff from MTV, but I want my MTV, we were like, we're stealing that, and so we made it our own, you know, I mean, our logo is stealing the color bars of TV, and whenever I see that color bars anywhere, I think JOKERJOKErtv now, because that's our logo, so like, I don't know.
And one other thing to say about Twitch is that there's also a lot of even more niche communities. Like, I mean, there are crafters that are crafting live. There are scientists. I follow a geologist, Steve, looking at you. So you know, there's
in your group, who else is in your group of? You said the shrimp something like?
Oh yeah, so if you're, it's specifically for electronic musicians. They're called the Golden Shrimp Guild, and it's grown to like, it's got to be well over 100 members. And I got to meet like, you know, at least 30 of these people that have supported me in my stream, and I've gotten to know through through Twitch. I got to meet them in real life, and we got to jam together. You know, make
so
those
when you said 100
connections.
members, that's 100 different artists.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean,
that's
all
not just
over the
people
world.
watching your stuff.
Oh no. This is the Golden Shrimp Guild is like an online community.
Okay.
If you're talking about like, you know, just general viewers, if you're getting started on Twitch, then like give it time. The thing to do is for you to interact and engage with the artists that you love and appreciate. So, you know, once I was interacting a lot with one of my favorite bands, you know, the Fantastic Plastics, and they know that I'm a musician too, then, you know, they're gonna support me and raid my channel. They're gonna give me a shout out. You know, it's a very like a great mutually beneficial, you know, relationship, because you're supporting other artists. And so if you haven't explored Twitch, I think it's a good avenue to check out, and you can do it fairly DIY, but you can also utilize great spaces like Creative Athens and JOKERJOKErtv. So yeah.
Hi, my name is Savalas, and after hearing what Eugene said, I really want to go to church. That was encouraging for me. I'm not a traditional content creator. I'm looking for content creators. I'm looking for people to work on podcasts. So a little bit about me: I was born here at Athens Regional Medical Center, which is now Piedmont. I went to school in Emory, and I've been out in LA for several years, decades actually. And I came back to help take care of my grandmother who had dementia. And in that time, I started a tech company called Heartbeat Fam, which focused on AI wearables for dementia care. So I'm actually looking at bringing to the group, I'm an AI engineer also. So I'm looking at teaching some of that. I'm looking at working with people who really want to dig deep. And you know, there can be variations of things. Right now, we have a Dementia Tech Roadshow. We've also been invited by the Alzheimer's Association for our Dementia Tech Roadshow on Thursday. You see that? Yeah. And this is all within a year that we've been working on this. And we have a lot of things that we want to work on related to the communication of dementia care to loved ones. So we want to create some videos. We're working with area agencies as well. And they want to create some videos, and also they're interested in a podcast. And I'm looking forward to creating a podcast, something that's consistent. And I'm looking at actually creating a media department within my company. So I'm looking for some creatives in that space, and looking at having it here in Athens, Georgia. And I'm also going to have it West Coast because I love California. I was born here, right? So that's a little bit about me, and I'm looking to participate wherever I can, and when I can, and so we can just build something great. Just work together, see how things work out.
I don't really understand much about AI at all. And so
Let's start from the very beginning. What is a computer?
I have used AI a little bit to help me write some stuff. Like I've given it my ideas and said, write this into a business plan for me. You know? And that's how I started writing my business plan, you know, and then from there I just kept adding to what I had. But how are you using AI to do what you're doing?
Well, the first thing to know is that AI is an umbrella term.
Yeah. And not everybody likes AI. When they hear that, they're like, some people. And then, you know, so.
Yeah, of course, those are different perceptions. And what people are mostly talking about is generative AI these days. But we can actually have some classes on that to actually go. It's going to be a long discussion. And AI is nothing that's new. I've been studying AI since 95, actually.
95, yeah.
And I want my MTV, you're telling your age.
Yeah. With what you do,
I used to front a band, actually.
how are you using AI? Really?
Yeah, in San Francisco.
What's it called?
Okay, so right now, we're just actually working on AI and this I wanted civil research. It's actually a note-taking piece. When you actually go to the hospital with your grandmother who has dementia, or you go to the occupational therapist, you can actually listen to that information, and then it takes that information, and then just like similar to using ChatGPT, but I'm not using ChatGPT. We have to go into like the details of that. Because a lot of people think it's just, it's an API call to ChatGPT, and it's not. And it actually breaks that information down so that you have those notes when you get home.
That's great.
Yeah, and that's only one piece of it.
That sounds useful in a lot of different contexts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you intend for it to be useful for, pretty much any kind of note-taking?
You know, there are actually other note takers that are out there, like Claude AI is one of them.
Yeah.
And they're more general.
But this being a wearable seems to distinguish it.
Right. Well, no, theirs is a wearable.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. They have the wearable capsule, and this is a jewel, and we're presenting it as a jewel because our loved ones are jewels, and it's for the care space. So we actually have a 700-page document that we're actually going to be about 1,500 pages, which has caregiving tips and guidance for your loved ones. So it has the intelligence all built into this, so that it can actually give you the information. The way that you actually talk, you just talk to this wearable, and you'll be able to talk to Iona. Iona is named actually after my great-grandmother,
Oh, nice.
who's indigenous, who's Native American Cherokee, and so it stands for insightful, optical, nurturing agent. It's multimodal, so it'll see what's going on in the scene, it'll understand that, so that you as a caregiver can take better care of your loved one.
So you mentioned wanting content creators. How does that connect with that?
So, because my company is actually Heartbeat Fam, so even with for example, like with the caregiving tips, we want to actually show videos of caregiving on your phone, and that's going to be content.
So like that's going to trigger content?
Right, but that's only one case because, I can think of a million different cases, and I do write myself, and I write different scripts. I want to do a lot of commercials related to it.
Even actors in some capacity.
Yeah.
Was that, in a sense too. And
Voice
actually,
actors potentially too.
oh yeah, definitely actors.
So actors.
You have to compete against me because I have a dual degree from Emory.
I'll do that.
That's a good
That
question.
way,
Politician.
Yeah.
All right, so you need like explainer videos in a way too, right? Or
Not
is that
necessarily,
something-
no.
Like teaching somebody how to use that?
But I want an actual commercial.
Okay.
And I want it to be edited properly, like a commercial. If you look at like Friends AI or all the other ones, they have true commercials out there. Someone can actually do the editing. Someone can actually do a great job acting. If you have to be quiet while you're acting, that's fine too.
It seems like something that would require, this is something that's very emotionally charged, for a service. And so like to really convey how useful and meaningful this product could be, you're gonna want some people who know what they're doing and can like really relay that. So that makes sense.
And I want a series of different ones, to really get out there. It can be emotionally charging, and caregiving should be also a happy moments.
Damn right.
For sure.
stuff you're doing. Okay, so let's bring Taj in. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good. I didn't realize you were coming from Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm
But you do classic conversations.
Yes, classic conversations. Think about Barbara Walters, Gayle King, in-depth style interviews, not just surface style interviews where I'm asking specific questions so that viewers can actually learn something and take it away with them after they're looking at it. And then the artists and entrepreneurs that I speak with, this is also something for them, for their family. You can think about it like this. It's a lot about your own family members that you probably don't know because you probably haven't thought to ask certain questions. Life's just going. But this is like a documented history of something very special in each person that I sit down and talk to's life in detail, and their children, grandchildren, cousins, anyone in their family, friends can take it away and learn a lot and then have that keepsake for all time. Yeah. So that's what my goal is with Classic Conversations. I have been targeting a specific community that I haven't seen get as in-depth style interviews as often. And I'm looking to expand into other genres and other areas as far as the people that I'm speaking with. I don't want it to just be limited to one area, but I do want to focus on an area where it's not covered so in-depth in the mainstream. When I was growing up, one thing that stood out to me, because I am from Athens, Georgia, born and raised, is that I would go through the hallways, elementary school, middle school, high school, and during certain times of the month, I would see certain faces on the wall, the normal faces, the Abraham Lincolns, and all of these people they want you to know, but I never saw anyone in my community, and I never really knew what the people in my community were really doing, and especially when it came to the artistic part of it. There wasn't a lot of that being showcased, so it kind of led me, and I'm sure other people who were growing up around me, to believe that, okay, well, this is not something that's valuable or something that I could be successful in because I don't see it happening. So I wanted to kind of create something different to where we can start highlighting people and their talents and their intelligence in a way that looks as if it might be mainstream, and put it out there for the communities to see, hey, this is what's going on around you in the artistic world, in the business world, in the education world, and so on and so on. So that's what my overall goal of Classic Conversations is. So I go out and I interview different types of personalities. We work together. I work with CreativeSpace to edit these interviews and put them out. But I also attend events, and I just try to focus on capturing the best moments of these events so that I can tell a story. When I do the editing, it's not just random parts of the events that I'm showing. I'm actually taking some of the best moments and telling a story about a culture of people, an aspect of art, an aspect of business, something in that realm. So I like to think of what I do as edutainment. I'm purposely asking certain questions and capturing certain moments with the intent to educate people, but also entertain them. And sometimes I'll go on the edge on purpose because I'm trying to reach certain demographics, and I know there are certain things that those demographics relate to, just to reel them in. But once I get them in with what I like to call the candy, then I like to kind of slide in some medicine for them too, without them even noticing it. That's the goal of Classic Conversations. I edit videos. I'm just something that I just picked up on the side. I'm actually an educator. I've been teaching in the state of Georgia for 17 years now.
Okay, great.
Yes, and one thing I noticed throughout the years in the areas that I've been working in is there is a disconnect. The students look at us and they don't really see a human. They know we're human, but there's like this block to where they kind of don't make that connection with us because they see us as someone who's kind of like gatekeeping or in their way. And I want to show them that, okay, we're interested in a lot of the things that go on in your community. what goes on in your family customs and things like that, and we're not judging you. It's okay to share that, you know? And just kind of make that connection and bridge that gap between perspectives on education.
I just have one question. Is there a difference between schools in Athens and schools in Atlanta?
Yes, I would think so. For me, I've never been an educator in Athens, but from a student standpoint, there's a huge difference from the era that I came through. And then going out, I started actually teaching in Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
And I was in Savannah, Georgia for 10 years. I didn't teach for 10 years. I taught down there for 5, but I lived down there for 10 years. And then I came up to the Atlanta area. Both areas, I noticed there's just huge deficits. There were so many opportunities that I had. Field trips, the curriculum was more advanced. I feel like there was so much, even the recess equipment, things like that were more up to date. We just had more opportunities here in this area as opposed to an Atlanta area where you would think it would be so innovative and they would have so much. They're lacking on so much. And they don't really realize it until someone like me and some other people come in that come from different areas to kind of bring that to their knowledge and motivate them to, okay, you know, once I graduate, I can do this, I can do that. Or just start thinking outside of the box. You wouldn't be able to believe how many students I've worked with who they live in DeKalb and that's all they've seen. And the Atlanta metro area is huge. So when I'm telling them about experiences downtown, they've never even been downtown. And you would think it's right there.
Right.
There are so many schools like that in the Atlanta metro area. So,
I'm wondering, have you like brought in content creation, like the interviews for the
This-
families and stuff?
this is what I want to do. I want to start integrating that and having it make like an after school program or something. The kids are all into technology right now. They love creating skits, do TikTok dances. They love rap music. So just trying to bring that element in and infuse it with the curriculum somehow. To help keep and steer their thoughts in a positive manner as opposed to some of the other things that are going on. Because there's just not the right connection in certain schools between the curriculum, the staff, and the student population.
There's something I'm gonna talk to you about with that. Somebody else that I know is working on a project that we gotta talk about. Anyways, but I wanna ask you questions about some of the nitty gritty of how you do your content and where you do it. Like, how are you releasing it? Because this goes into the kids, you know, you're working with. They're on certain platforms, and like, you know, when I was talking earlier about how community access television used to be a cable TV thing, and that's dying now. So we've got this new way of doing things, and it's platforms, and it's, you know, you've got, you know, all these different platforms are what TV became.
Yeah.
So you're putting together a show that, and then you're releasing it in which ways? Like,
I've been releasing what I like to call teasers on Instagram. Most of the teasers are on Instagram, just something to grab someone's attention at this
and you've
point.
been doing live. I saw one of those the other day.
I used to do live a lot on Facebook. I haven't been as consistent with the lives on Instagram and other platforms.
What platforms are you using? Let's talk. Which one?
Platforms right now, my main platforms is Instagram and YouTube right now. I have a TikTok and Threads, and I need to definitely be more consistent with that. But there's that time issue, you know, working
You have the
that
same profile names, channel
out. Okay,
names.
classic dot conversations on Instagram.
Oh
And classic dot conversations on TikTok.
Is it dot period?
Yeah, like the period. And on Threads, it's London Taj. London with the L-O-D-O-N at the end, and Taj, T-A-J. And also Threads is London Taj. So the London Taj Classic Conversations, on London Taj, there'll be slightly different content than what you will see. It'll differ slightly than what you see on Classic Conversations because it's more of a personality point of view as opposed to, okay, this is what we're focusing on, the overall theme point of view.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
nice.
So, is all your content going to be short form?
Short form, like, what do you mean?
I mean, on most of those platforms.
On
like,
YouTube, they're
well, YouTube, you can
45
do
minutes to
long form,
60 minutes.
Yeah.
I want to branch out to the apps
Okay.
and start thinking about Roku apps,
Oh, yeah. We talked about
Amazon Fire, you know, things
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Okay.
I try to keep it short on the social media because I realize that everyone's attention.
Yep.
I think on Instagram they'll give you up to like a maximum of 15 minutes, but when I'm looking at the insights, because that's another thing I do, that's a transferable skill from being an educator, analyzing data. So I'm constantly looking at insights and things, and I'm like, okay, people aren't watching for that long. Stop if they make it 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we look at a little bit of that. I don't understand it all, but you know, yeah. So you know, and we're doing like the 2-hour content, and then thinking about like chopping that up to send it to the social media. But you're kind of like more going straight to the social media.
I'm chopping it up first and doing it on social media, and
Then
then
send it
using
over
that to
to-
create buzz.
Oh, okay.
I want you to want more. I want you to ask me, when am I gonna see the whole thing, you know? Because that's gonna drive the traffic
Over to YouTube.
over to YouTube
Okay.
and turn over more people who are gonna spend the time to actually watch it and value it.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
I was wondering if we could go to get that assessment, just like who's here.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Yeah. So anybody want to speak up? I don't know.
We're just asking like
Who's a
Who's a
musician?
musician? Who's a filmmaker?
Musician!
Musicians, raise your hand. There you go.
Alright.
Are you guys in a band?
Not with each other. They each kind of do their own projects. And then animators. Are there any animators?
Perhaps.
Oh, what type of animation?
Shoot, man. Maybe some kind of like I was thinking more along the lines of like pixel art, sort of 2D animation.
Yeah.
Oh, 2D? Okay.
Yeah, something along those lines. I mean, I do other stuff. I mean,
Right.
I'm just all around artist.
And who here are writers?
Yeah,
Writers.
Yeah.
What type of screenplays or okay, a mixture of them, huh?
Let's ask podcasters. Are there any podcasters in the audience? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Live streamers. All right.
Nice.
Live streamers. Yeah.
Comedian.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Where
right.
do you guys perform at?
Anywhere.
Most of them been on. I mean, the comedy scene is huge in Athens. Like, you have a really good turnout at most of those shows, don't you? Yeah. And there's like Owen back there. He has AthensComedy.com. Is that how you say it? And he kind of lists all the comedy shows, and there's pretty much something going on every single night of the week. It's pretty amazing.
And my pain, who here are editors? Yeah, okay. Non-linear editing. What do you got? What tools do you guys use? What's the popular tool? Premiere?
Creative Cloud.
Creative Cloud here.
Yeah, sometimes I dabble quite a bit with Premiere Pro. I've also done DaVinci. There's also a Corel video editor.
Okay,
Stuff
nice.
like that.
Okay. And who here does 3D printing? Oh, 3D printing in the back. Anyone works with Arduinos? Or Raspberry Pis? Or
Oh yeah,
microcontrollers?
I'm
Oh, you
interested
guys-
in
no,
more about
that's-
that. Yeah, I was looking into that a little bit. I created a video game, which here, how many video game creators in the room? Come on, raise your hand.
My homie is the creator.
Yeah, but you're part of the team.
You play as me, you know what I'm saying? That's about as far as it goes on that.
Do you guys use Unity for that?
Huh?
Unity?
Yeah, I used Unity. Yeah.
Unreal Engine 5, several things. I'll hook you up with my guy.
Yeah, he's got a
Conversations.
tech. Him and this guy are they're
Get you the
cheap.
loop, you know what I mean? Sorry. All right.
So like I
Sorry,
see.
was that about video games?
Yeah. Well, his guy has lots of skill, computer hacking skill, as they say on Napoleon. Anyways,
Right. Oh man.
So yeah, I created a video game, but it was like I took 8 months and just learned it and just made a little game, and it's a stupid game. Anyways, so I wanted to make a console, like an arcade console with my video game in it. And I was learning a little bit about Raspberry Pi. Because of that, there's a lot of these video game things that people build have a Raspberry Pi in it, and that's what's running the video game. And so I didn't really learn how to do that yet, but I'd love to talk more about that. But anyways, look, are there any voice actors here like that do that for a living? Anybody?
Oh yeah, any actors? You're
I was just saying a little bit, we gonna get it.
actor? Okay, nice.
Voice actor?
Yeah, that's
It's a good idea.
get things done. So there's a lot about the concept. Yeah, what's that? Get the gap. Yeah, need that. Yeah, so, oh, in the back.
Yeah, well, I'm a former teacher, so I won't stand up. When you just said, I'm a stroke survivor. I had 5 strokes, and so when you were talking about going to the doctor with your grandmother, and like, that is awesome. And like, I just moved back home. I'm from here. Class of 2002 for Cedar Shoals.
All right. 10 shows.
Hey.
I'm not gonna say my year.
I won't either. I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that. 94.
Oh, you're a youngster. You're a youngster.
Where I cheered, and so my coach graduated in '96. And the reason why I'm here is because Eugene Willis, I saw his, which I went to school with him, class 99. But, I'm back now. It's been 21 years since I lived here, and been back for a year, and this has been a humbling experience because of all the change. Now, of course, I'm a historian. Montu is here, so I was hoping that you were gonna say educators, and then I would bring my hand, but I do have an EDS, and I'm just really trying to learn like Twitch and all of that stuff, because kind of been rehabbing for it's 9 years, as in 3 days. I actually had 4 strokes in December, 9 years ago. So, no, I lost my speech, right side. I was in rehab for 8 months as a 32-year-old. Stress kills. But I am just like really trying to build a network, and I'm home now. And people are like, why did you come back? Why not? I was born here. I'm an Athens general baby. like I taught Grady babies, because I used to teach in Cobb County, so Head Highway. Like if you've been to Six Flags, I taught them. So, but now I'm home, and like I was just telling her, my first job was the varsity. And that was like, what's happening? Like what's happening? Like, what do you have? What do you have? Like that. So, I mean, I feel that's why I need to, with the creatives, because we're losing history.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand that, UGA is the oldest state university in America, but we also have the rest of Clark County.
Yes.
And actually, I applied for UGA and I got denied in March. But it is what it is. But we still have the rest of Clark County. And I'm not even talking about Oconee and Barrow,
Clark County.
because
That's right.
No, we talking about Clark County. I don't care about them because that's not where I grew up. I am a Clark County alumni. And what they're doing with public education is, we got the lowest graduation rate of the state. I don't know if y'all know that.
I know it.
So it's like we have to come together because everybody does not have the amount of money to send their kids to private school.
Right.
And we have to come together, and I feel like we can do that with music because that's what everybody does. More cards? Yeah.
And I want to vouch what you're saying as well because, and I know my former teachers who were here, and Cedar Shoals has completely changed. We had academic decathlons. We were successful. We had AP classes. We had the Pappases. We had Mrs. Neal, all of these great teachers, wonderful foreign language departments, and we were successful. We went to great schools and great colleges afterwards because of that. And now there is a level of degradation that has happened at that school, and people are putting it down in so many ways. And I don't want to get deeper, but I just want to vouch with what you're saying because I've seen that.
We used to be a school of excellence.
It was a school of excellence. Yeah, academic excellence.
And I did not have Miss Neal. My last name is Neal.
But you didn't have Miss Neal?
No, I didn't have Miss Neal. She did not be kin to me. But when I went to college, everyone that had Miss Neal was like a good writer. Like, and I was like, dang. Like when I got to my freshman year in college, I was like, man, I should have had Miss Neal.
But she wouldn't let me perform Paul Laurence Dunbar. She started reading that poem in class. Jump back, honey, jump back. And I was like, Miss Neal, because she's like, I am not going to let you talk about the African American community like Paul Laurence Dunbar because of what he wrote about. But she taught Langston Hughes, James Baldwin. I mean, Miss Neal.
I'm teaching all that now, right now.
Talk to us.
Yeah, we're gonna get on to one of these.
You're teaching that now?
At Cedar. At Cedar. I teach AP African American Studies.
We have African American Studies.
AP African American Studies.
African American Studies.
At Cedar Shoals High School right now.
Wow. Do you know Miss Dariana Smith?
I do not.
You do not? She was homecoming queen princess like twice in a row. That's my niece. Yeah, but you're teaching.
No, but I just want to say that, I understand that, I've been in Athens since 2000, so I've been here 24 years, and I get, I've seen the changes and things that's happening, but I also want people to realize, it ain't Cedar, it's education in general. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's across the board, so I have to always speak up when people try to pinpoint Cedar as if it's this downward spiral that's happening. It's happening in education everywhere. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So, and me being at Cedar and kind of doing what I'm doing, I'm over there at least trying to rebuild or not even rebuild, build something that's that. You know what I mean? I teach AP African American Studies, I teach ethnic studies, and I teach peer leadership. So, I teach from a totally different, perspective that, a lot of people anywhere is teaching. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the state, the nation is teaching. So we have some things that's happening at Cedar, and, I'd love to talk to whoever wants to talk to me. I do some things in the community, but I just wanted to let it be known that, we coming. We got a reconstruction that's happening. We have a new principal that's happening. Things are changing, and I just want people to, try to change their perspective on how they look at Cedar. When we have these conversations, for it to be more of looking the overview of it and not just saying that Cedar's this and that and whatever, because we're changing.
We're both alums from Cedar, so the change of the principal, do you think that will make a difference?
It has made a difference.
Yes. It has made a difference.
I got a 15-year-old son. In less than a year, she's only been here for this semester, it's already changed.
So at the leadership level?
Yes. It's always been at the leadership.
It's always been at him. Like when I was working there for 2 months, so I've seen like Montu is like an awesome teacher. I saw his kids. I saw that for myself when I was at Cedar Shoulders. So he is doing the work. Yep. I saw that for myself, and so it's really because of him. Like that's why I'm like I will always be, a Jaguar. So realize that I probably need to, with Clark Central and with the whole, this is still the classic city.
And I'll say one thing about that, and I don't want to, soak up too much energy in the room, but that the one thing that I try to do is I connect with Clark Central. All my kids go to Clark Central. I have four of my actual kids that go to Clark Central, but I teach at Cedar. But so I've been building that bridge, but my thing is even this week, I had Kelly Gertz in my classroom today. I had Mocha in my classroom. Yesterday, the owner of Tweet was in my classroom. I had Max that builds food trucks. So this week I'm doing this leadership series where I'm bringing in community leaders that come and talk to these kids. So everybody who's in here, the main thing is to really just go. There's classrooms where you can go and if you're influence, we can talk about what Cedar needs, but if you ain't got boots on the ground and it's coming in there and doing it, then
maybe that's not part of it.
Yeah, and I think it's because you're talking about kids are on the internet, kids are creating their own content. Content creation is now a part of their life, and using content creation to teach them, teaching them where they are. Like you're saying, you're not just this nameless person in front of the class, you're part of where they already are. And so that's why I think this is important. I think, Montu, I'd like to really do one of these meetups where we talk about how content creation and education come together. I think that was already on my list of things I was hoping to maybe find people to gather together to talk about that. So,
instead of just talking about, why don't you put it in action? You got a guy that works at Cedar Shoulders. My kids go to Cedars.
Yeah.
You put it in action. You've got JOKERJOKertv. You got a bunch of creatives here. Because the one thing that's missing at this meeting, and I think you all agree this, you guys want this to grow. But what is the one thing missing? The youth. The youth. Because guess what? If we're the only reason that this is staying alive, it's going to die with us.
Right.
I don't care how much you want to be out there and creative, but it's a lot of me, cooperation, me. But we're missing that youth. So you, with your JOKERJOKertv, should hook up with him.
Yeah.
And not just talk about it. Put it in action. Start it next week.
Yes.
And get the youth involved if you want this to survive. Because these little meetups, it's just going to kill it if you don't move with the youth.
Yeah.
So when I was teaching, when I was teaching in Cobb County, prior to my strokes, but I actually used Instagram. Because I used to teach U.S. history. So I let them make memes on Instagram, and I had an Instagram, I had a teacher Instagram and a personal Instagram. They didn't know what they didn't know the personal, but I had the teacher Instagram, which I've had when I started when I worked in Marietta City Schools. So I was already using social media in 2013. And so when I came back, unfortunately, it's because I have my disabilities that everybody thinks I can't teach. But it is what it is. But you have to use social media when it comes to these kids because that is all they know. You have to with the superintendent in the pockets and with the phones, I was like, no, you can't do that. You can't take away their phones because look at what just happened in Barrow County.
Oh, speak.
So you cannot, you have to use the phones. Yeah. You have to, because it's I just realized that Athens is really behind. And I hate to to say that, and this is my hometown, but we just started, y'all just started using Chromebooks after the pandemic. My 6th graders knew how to do data. Like, we had Chromebooks when I worked in Marietta City Schools. Like, they were doing their testing online. And then I would get the data, and then we would, I taught them how they would go to, because I'm atypical and I had like pie charts. So they would get excited about reading data. And this was in 2011, 2014. And so that's something that I'm realizing, because I'm a data-driven, like with anything. Data matters. Facts matter. So, but that is what's missing. It's like what he was talking about with the collaboration is so much individualism, and I think it's really because of the pandemic. You know, everybody has kind of become like individualized just because we socially distancing. And so I know, and I've experienced this, and I'm telling you this because I done came back home. We don't have a community anymore.
True.
If we are going to be honest about it, we don't have a community anymore. And it hurt. This hurt my soul, you know. But I ain't going nowhere.
Me neither.
I ain't going nowhere. Like a lot of people, like, why'd you come back? You need to go back to Atlanta. I was in Atlanta, and I'm back. Have you drove with Atlanta Transit?
I'd like to share that. Like, I can understand that perspective. You know Athens with like a deep history, like a lot longer. Just from my perspective, I hope it's a little uplifting to know that as someone who still sometimes feels like a newbie here, despite living here for the last 6 years, I was commuting to Gainesville for work. I was actually a museum educator, so I looked at the chat. But having recently been able to live here full time and work here full time, from my perspective, I have never experienced such a special community here.
Right.
And so, like, I can totally understand the retrospective of what you've experienced, you know, to see the differences. But I hope it means something to know that I personally have been so incredibly grateful to the spirit of this community, especially the creatives that I've met, the fellow musicians, the comedy scene here, you know. It means a lot to me, but it also, and it gives me, you know, it makes me feel very energized and hopeful and excited. But hearing perspectives like your own makes me feel like we can't let it slip away, you know, and that we have to build from where we're at. And so, like, both perspectives are very much useful in this entire conversation. And, you know, someone brought up, why are we here tonight? We can't just talk about it, we've got to do it. And I have to say that I think that a lot of what AthensGATV and Joker, like, these are people who are real, and Eugene, Creative Athens, these are people that are doing the work, and I think it's more on us in this room to, you know, support that, to collaborate, to have fun with it.
It's always fun.
Be a kid again, like, you know, and have that kind of levity to, like, let's find ways to be creative, to have fun, and especially because if we're going to bring youth into it, I have taught history to the kiddos, and you got to make it fun, my friends. Right. And so, you know, I totally get that. And so, bringing in the youth to this would be amazing. You know, especially with educators in particular that get to see it firsthand. That what's missing. You know, I think what seems to be missing in a lot of public education is that creativity, the curiosity, and engaging in curiosity, you know, and to have creativity, curiosity goes hand in hand. So for them to be able to participate, I think that's an awesome goal.
Yeah, and I mean, when we started Joker, we started with the people that we knew, so it was people our age and things like that, but as we, continue developing, we realize we've got to reach out more to the younger audience. One of the projects that we're working on, I can't really talk too much about yet because I'm not heading the project up, but one of the things that JOKERJOKERtv is working with, possibly the Boys and Girls Clubs may be involved, is creating a workshop type program that teaches and involves the students where they can create what JOKERJOKERtv is. So like taking the idea of what JOKERJOKERtv is, what we do every week, putting the show together, creating the content, all these different little pieces, being producing it all and organizing.
I mean, it's the same stuff that like 90s kids did with VHS or, whatever, or that vaudevillians did. They just have fun,
But we're talking about like putting this together as a thing that can then go out to the different schools, it can go out to the Boys and Girls Clubs, so that these programs can be enacted in the community and start meeting the students where they are, letting them create the content.
I grew up here also. I ain't nobody, but somebody from here. But
Facts.
It wasn't, in school you got the curriculum, right? And then you got people like me, creative, which, is limited in the school, right? And of course, I'm 50, right? So I'm gonna die soon, right? The kids, just like the laws and everything that's being set up right now, it's not for us because in their mind, we're gone. It's for the future. So this has to be for the future.
Right now.
That's all.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I just know that some things have changed because the time that we were growing up, the churches were stronger.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
They were the ones who really took care of the youth. And I can look at black and white churches.
Facts.
At that time.
All of them.
Yeah, because I know that we had a play, I believe it was about, I believe 411 or something like that. And we actually combined different multiracial churches together and put on that play. And performed that. I was one of the actors in that play. Yeah, and for 2 years. And I know that the churches have changed now, and you don't have many youth, because I was a member of Shiloh Baptist Church.
Winterville.
And they don't necessarily show up to church now.
They do it online. They stream it.
Oh, they do it online?
Yeah, churches are streaming that.
Yeah, man. Since the pandemic.
Oh, they do, yeah. And it's good when you're sick too, for that streaming.
But
even before COVID, people weren't showing up to, the children weren't showing up. We had Project Act and TCT, and we had competitions between the churches as well. And this is back in the 90s. Yeah.
All right, so if no questions, I think we're gonna wrap it up. And everybody hang out and talk to other people. I think a lot of people here have voiced opinions and about different things and what you do, and I really definitely want to talk to you more about all of that. We have the QR code for AthensGATV. You scan that, it's going to take you to a form to just put in, it gives you 3 choices, whether you're just interested in being part of the community, or if you're actually an artist or creator, and then if you're a business owner. So just click those. That's the way we're going to contact you about the next one. Of course, I'll post it, we'll all post it, so maybe you'll see it on social media as well, but you'll for sure know about it if you join that. And on top of that, I would love if anybody here, whatever you do, please come talk to us afterwards about being up here and talking more about what you do. And, I think it was a pretty good first meeting. And, these people here, I chose them because we've been working together, and me and Nerd were like talking about this idea that this needed to happen, and we made it happen. And I appreciate
let's
you.
give it up for Eugene.
Yes. I hope that this is going to continue monthly. Yes. Athica said we could do that. I just got to work out the schedule with them, and I'll let you know. So,
Yay.
thank you. anything closing.
I'm sorry. I just want to say one thing. I just want to encourage us all to keep our minds open with creativity. So everyone who's in here, you may be doing something one day. Feel free to reach out and say, hey, if you have the time on this day at this time, could you come by and just see what's going on and capture some of that content? And if I have that thought too, reach out to you and just be comfortable and open with doing that. And just working together in creative ways that help each other, and having the youth, because we want to reach them, see that in action, and that inspire them too.
Yeah, great.